This leopard made a fatal mistake when it attacked the wild boars. The three of them pounced on the predator, quickly brought it down, and began tearing it apart with their terrifying jaws from different sides. And today we will show you other impressive and frightening cases in which prey turned into aggressors. It's hard to say what exactly angered this horse so much, but it made a mistake in choosing its target for attack. The horse has tremendous striking power, its bite is incredibly painful, and its ramming attack can knock down a bear. But messing with a camel was not a good idea. Although this humped beast seems awkward, slow, and timid, camels can surprise their foes. A much more massive animal didn't allow the horse to demonstrate all it was capable of, and immediately seized the initiative in this battle. Interestingly, the camel didn't act particularly brutally or bloodthirstily. It simply lay on the horse and subdued its resistance through sheer mass superiority. It's like an experienced and strong friend calming down a restless buddy at a bar. The horse tries to fend off, resist, and break free, but all its efforts turn into futile struggles under the body of this huge desert quadruped. It becomes clear how strong this camel actually is. Its advantage is colossal. In fact, it could have used its strength with much more bloodthirsty motives. But instead, the noble camel simply waits for the opponent to calm down, then gets up. Only at the end of the fight does the horse realize just how lucky it was. The camel could have maimed the opponent or even broken its neck. A very young calf who was born not long ago is fending off a hyena. The large and fierce predator lunges at the opponent from different sides and tries to sink its terrifying jaws. Although the calf is massive, it not only yields to the enemy in strength and skills, but also in size. However, the calf continues to fight bravely. He whirls around, maneuvers, but the hyena still overpowered him and managed to knock him down. They're ready to sink their teeth into him and tear him apart. However, luckily the calf held on long enough, and at the last moment the mother appeared and drove away the predator before its fangs could pierce the calf's soft flesh. The female stood over him like a living mountain. She's ready to trample anyone who threatens her calf. She made it in time. Although the calf is lying on the ground, he's alive. He also managed to avoid serious injuries. After some time under the watchful eyes of his family, he'll come to and be able to stand once again. Such desperate bravery from the calf, which bought him time and allowed him to survive, deserves your like, doesn't it? A large variety of predators inhabit the African continent. Usually, panthers are considered the most formidable and mighty. Hyenas also have a fearsome reputation, but there's another type of hunters who are not inferior to competitors in terms of effectiveness and strength. These are wild dogs. In terms of size, they significantly lag behind most competitors, but they are quite efficient and formidable predators, successfully hunting approximately the same large hoofed animals as lions. How do they do it? Dogs defeat mighty and massive hoofed animals through numbers and excellent coordination. When a pack of 24 agile, bold, and highly experienced predators hunts together, such force can bring down a buffalo weighing a ton. However, to overpower the hoofed animal, which has more than 10 times the weight advantage over a single dog, first of all the predators need to sow panic among the prey. Only then can they separate the prey from its kin and encircle it. Without surrounding, it would be extremely difficult to bring down a bull, zebra, or large antelope. But these predators know how to use their numerical advantage excellently. The dogs attacked cohesively, and each member of the pack knows their role. The animals cover each other. If the prey behaves aggressively and threatens the nearest dog, another predator can distract the opponent, risking a fatal blow, but saving their fellow pack member. To this, we should add exceptional agility, reaction speed, and swiftness of attack. The dogs don't possess the elegant grappling skills of panthers, which suffocate their prey. Instead, the dogs swarm their prey and sink their jaws into it. Then, several sharp and powerful movements leave jagged wounds on the prey's body. After several even partially successful brutal attacks, even a large hoofed animal will lose strength for further resistance. But if you think these advantages have made wild dogs mysterious and ultimate hunters of Africa against whom no one can stand, you're mistaken. There are hoofed animals capable of putting up an impressive resistance against these dogs. For example, zebras. These hoofed animals are often the target of many carnivores. And although striped herbivores do prefer to flee danger rather than fight when necessary, they can demonstrate their remarkable fighting qualities. When the dogs attacked these zebras, they counted on the main difficulty being the pursuit and capture of the hoofed animals. They didn't count on a fight, and that was a big mistake. The dogs ran diagonally towards the swiftly moving zebras to scare them. After that, they could catch up and attack one of them, surround it, and tear it apart. Well, this plan failed at the first second, didn't it? The zebras noticed the enemy quite early, so there was no element of surprise. Not only did the hoofed animals not panic, but they didn't even stop grazing, thus luring the dogs closer. The predators thought they just needed a little more persistence. They'd be better off just fleeing. The dogs didn't expect such a calm encounter, so they fell into a trap. Meanwhile, the zebras didn't underestimate the enemy and closed ranks a bit tighter. They knew exactly how many dogs there were and what their chances were, so they were prepared to resist. The dogs hadn't yet realized whom they were dealing with. They continued the attack, a big mistake. The dogs crossed an invisible line and provoked the zebras into a counterattack. One of them surged forward and lunged at the dog to trample it and break its bones. Besides the devastating ramming and powerful hooves, the zebra had another weapon on its side, the jaws. Zebras' powerful and large teeth may be lacking pronounced canines, but the incisors, which grind down the toughest vegetation of the savanna, are capable of inflicting incredible pain. Such an impressive leap forward made the dogs recoil and retreat far away. Now the predator lures the enemy into pursuit so that its kin can surround the recklessly bold hoofed animal. But the cool-headed zebra didn't fall into this trap. It kept its composure and didn't get carried away with the chase, quickly turning back towards its herd before the dogs even realized what had happened. The hoofed animal returned to its own. So why are zebras still one of the favorite prey of predators in the African savannas? With young fillies, the attempt to attack might work, but the males are too dangerous. Also, the manner of attacking by zebras isn't what the predators expected. They were prepared for the zebra to pounce, but biting? Well, that's just too much. The opponent's skin, as well as the nerve endings within it, can be literally shredded by the zebra's massive and large flat teeth. However, in this case, the zebras at least limited themselves to driving away the enemies, and here the striped herbivores are much more aggressive. Probably because their enemy is a solitary hyena. This type of predator stands out for its cruelty, bloodthirstiness, and brutal hunting style. Even one hyena can be dangerous for a large hoofed animal. That's why zebras don't just drive away the hyena, but actively chase after it to finish it off. In fact, there are many cases in which zebras refused to be the prey and started chasing predatory enemies themselves. The striped hoofed animal can be a fierce and very aggressive fighter that will chase bewildered hyenas and some other predators, posing a serious threat to them. A zebra can grab a paw and break it, or bite the back or face, inflicting serious damage to soft tissues. No wonder the hoofed animal chases after enemies, lowering its head and trying to bite. But the hooves are no less fearsome weapons. This showdown looks quite impressive. Amidst the tall grasses on the wide expanses of the savanna, these hoofed animals seem to be taunting the opponent. They maneuver, accelerate, charge forward, and induce a panic attack to the predator. Such a fierce attack leaves the lone hyena no chance of winning in a confrontation. And the zebras understand this. Probably, if they were dealing with an equal opponent, they would have behaved more modestly and even tried to hide. But a lone hyena is no threat to them. That's why zebras are so eager to trample this enemy into the ground. The predator didn't expect this. It's probably a scout who was supposed to lead its kin to a big hunt. Instead, it became the prey itself. It's quite logical. Instead of waiting for the whole group of hyenas to attack, enraged herbivores rush into battle first. The most persistent large stallion clearly has no intention of letting the hyena go alive. He's supported by fellow hoofed animals, who also advance on the lone hyena just behind the leader. The herd supports the most fierce stallion, which isn't really typical for competing zebras. But for the sake of protection from danger, they're ready to unite, and now they chase the hyena as if it were a frightened, panicking puppy. The stallion is more than twice as large, and his high speed allows him to build momentum for a head-on attack. Such a ram will not only knock the hyena to the ground, but also send it into a deep knockout if the stallion catches up to the enemy. Notice here that the hyena scout isn't alone. There are two of them, but they're at a distance from each other. Usually, predators demonstrate a greater tendency to mutual aid than herbivores, but not this time. The zebras convincingly show the second hyena what awaits it if it were to interfere. So while the group of hoofed animals chases after one hyena, the other simply observes the situation, hoping not to be bothered. It seems that scavengers, in particular, fear the teeth of hoofed animals. It's unlikely that a zebra's bite will lead to fatal consequences for the hyena. The striped hoofed animal won't be able to sever the throat of its enemy. But it's capable of tearing the skin from the muscles, severing blood vessels, tearing ligaments, and even causing bone damage with its bite. Certainly, one shouldn't forget that an unforgettable experience awaits the predator if the zebra's jaws were to grab it by the scruff or muzzle. A more massive hoof can easily lift the hyena off the ground. With the zebra's bite might not be able to pierce the enemy's skin like a panther's fangs, for example, these jaws, like metallic clamps, can easily crush anything they catch. It's no wonder that faced with such force, the helpless hyena flees. We would too if such formidable and aggressive hoofed animals, weighing as much as many motorcycles, came charging at us like battering rams. Alone, an adult hyena truly has nothing to pose against these enemies. This will be a lesson not only for this individual, but for its entire pack. Don't think that without the support of its kin, the enraged zebra stallion will lose to the hyena. For example, here, the enraged hoofed animal demonstrates a decent level of pursuit. Not just driving away the spotted scavenger, but chasing after it. The zebra first tries to reach the enemy with its teeth, but then changes its mind and charges at it with its hooves, literally trampling the hyena and delivering a series of devastating blows, putting all its weight into them. Apparently, biting the scavenger was disdainful for this striped hoofed animal. The hyena didn't expect this. This horse didn't appreciate the company of this dog, and the hoofed animal didn't hesitate to make that clear to its neighbor. The horse gave the dog a quick nip, then reared up and struck it in the face. The dog is shocked. It didn't expect such behavior from an ordinary docile herbivore, especially considering that this is a breed bred to fight the most dangerous wild predators. A pair of Bengals can protect a herd of livestock from a wolf attack, and 5 dogs will not only put up a fight, but even defeat a bear. So the horse's attack for this dog is truly a personal insult. The fanged giant boldly enters the fray, thinking it will easily teach the hoofed animal a lesson. Pretty scary, isn't it? But not for the horse. The Kangal acts very decisively and lunges precisely for the horse's throat. However, the hoofed animal dodges the attack several times, each of which could be fatal. As its main advantage, the herbivore uses its height. As soon as the Kangal's fangs come close to the horse's neck, it immediately rears up until the upper part of its body becomes inaccessible to the dog. The smart Kangal doesn't risk trying to get under the hooves and to reach the opponent. Instead, it tries several times to pull off the trick with an attack to the throat. It seems that sooner or later it will succeed. The long fangs almost touch the horse's neck, but the hoofed animal turns out to be too agile. Moreover, with enviable accuracy and skill, the hoofed animal deflects the enemy's attacks with its legs, overwhelms the Kangal with its greater mass, and delivers counterattacks. The horse has knocked down the enemy several times. Although the agile dog dodges the massive hooves, the initiative belongs to the horse. However, after some time, the Kangal makes it clear that it will simply finish off the opponent if it continues to provoke. In the end, the horse calms down, but only until the dog turns its back on it. It seems like this hoofed animal is the predator here, easily provoked into attacking. The Kangal is shocked. It didn't know what it was getting itself into when it entered this enclosure. The horse behaves like a bandit. It constantly tries to launch a sneak attack, strike from behind, hoof to the head. Maybe the dog is holding back because it's its owner's horse, but that just makes it more offensive. It seems like the hoofed animal understands its privileged position and takes advantage of it. Sometimes herbivorous animals, who are vegetarians and often the target of predatory attacks, behave even more aggressively. Here, 4 rams have gathered for a showdown. They look pretty cute, don't they? Fluffy, curly, amusing hoofed animals surrounded by pastoral mountain scenery. Who would have thought that this would turn into a real brawl? All 4 are males who come here specifically to settle scores and accidentally not push anyone else off the cliff. Here, one of them takes a few steps back and swiftly runs at the opponent to deliver a powerful blow. But the ram that started the fight underestimated its opponent. The defending ram met the aggressor's attack and redirected it. The momentum carried the initiating ram even further. It couldn't maintain balance. The aggressor got dizzy and fell belly up like a fish whose aquarium water hasn't been changed for 6 months. Meanwhile, the second pair of males also began their duel. Just notice how different their tactical moves they use. One ram not only managed to unleash all its force on the other, but also knocked it onto its side, exposing its belly for an upcoming attack. But the winner of this round didn't seize the opportunity. Do you think it's chivalry, or the victor just doesn't want to accidentally trip and tumble down the slope? In any case, the defeated hoofed animal got a chance to recover. It comically kicked its legs and couldn't regain balance due to the slope, but it was left alone. Meanwhile, the other pair of combatants fought much more aggressively and brutally. Usually, rams just butt heads, but here, the opponents were hitting each other all over their bodies. They were trying to break each other's legs, hitting the torso, attempting to push each other off the hill. You've got to agree, you didn't expect such brutality from such cute hoofed animals, did you? This horse made a big mistake when it tangled with this pony. The larger hoofed animal probably thought that superiority in height and mass gave it a decisive advantage. Well, now this cute little pony will show the horse just who's in charge. Their compact, round bodies, cute faces, and short limbs combined with dense fur make these miniature horses incredibly adorable to human eyes. At the same time, ponies are more than twice smaller in size compared to regular horses. But that's not a flaw, it's an advantage. Both wild and domestic stallions often attack each other in the most brutal and bloodthirsty way. They try to reach their opponent's genitals with their jaws. Without teeth, it's difficult to tear the skin, and it's precisely in the groin area, the only place on the hoofed animal's body, where large blood vessels come close under the skin and are not covered by muscles. So the pony threatens the opponent not only with severe pain. Its small stature gives an advantage because the pony can more easily reach the tail of a regular horse. But for it to bite the smaller opponent, it needs to lower its head significantly. The horse realizes it's dealing with the wrong hoofed competitor here and retreats. Let's just hope the pony calms down and nobody gets hurt here. In terms of raw physical strength, the pony shouldn't be underestimated either. They were bred as a mining breed. The small size of ponies wasn't meant for riding children or hobbits, but to pull carts loaded with a huge amount of coal out of narrow, dark, dangerous tunnels. The power, endurance, and resilience of these animals are truly admirable. Moreover, they have a tough and uncompromising character. Ponies are perfectly prepared for such dangerous and challenging work. They have very powerful muscles, tightly packed bodies, and strong skeletons. Plus, they possess massive hooves and powerful neck muscles. A fight between a regular horse and a pony is more of entertainment for the latter than stress. In fact, the pony doesn't even use a quarter of its real strength. It just shows the opponent that it's not worth messing with the pony. That's why this duel doesn't seem cruel or aggressive at all. But in reality, the horse just got lucky. Imagine the strength of a huge working stallion, and now try to pack its capabilities into a nimble and small body. Now add pride and stubbornness to this little cocktail. You've got to agree, it's not wise to tease a pony. So which hoofed animal today impressed you the most with its combat skills and strength of character? Let us know in the comments section, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that we're able to see each other more often.